much is because each 11 of those players who are, in fact, I'll even say 22, sometimes even the opposition leaves a mark on ourselves. But overall, we have been speaking about different kinds of players and Mikel Arteta. About something that I wanted to specifically ask about Arsenal team to Apurv bhai was about the rising effect of Martin Odegaard. Young kid from Norway, and of course he has been able to ask he has उसको बोला गया to fill big shoes. And Apurva bhai, from the outside I am not as an invested Arsenal fan like many of your guys would be in your page. What are your first remarks given Martin Odegaard's season throughout?
I mean, when he came in as a loanee,
Yeah,
he made a really big impact. When even with the play, he one of the few players in the 11 that looked very comfortable with the
yeah,
way Arteta wanted them to play. There were
Right.
okay,
a few blanks like Lacazette wasn't comfortable. Uh, on the wing, ESR and all, they were not very comfortable in the way that they played. So but he was one of the players. Him, Ramsdale were a few players that actually looked extremely comfortable with the way Arteta wanted them to operate in the field. Like
yeah,
Odegaard was so good. He was like, I, I mean, there were rumors like Real Madrid won't want to sell and all. I actually believe that it was done. He came for 6 months. Let's forget about
yeah,
him. But sudden, it was a master stroke of Edu to bring him
yeah,
to
I do.
Arsenal. It was an absolute master stroke of Edu to bring him for such. 40 million is nothing. 38 millions
Yeah, yeah,
for a player like Martin Odegaard. It was insane buy. It was an insane buy, and he has been so comfortable under Arteta. I mean, his link ups with Saka on the wing have been remarkable. That's what has been happening right now. That's why
Hmm.
we are seeing him score so many goals. I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing is, he is invested defensively as much as attackingly as well. Because the thing he, as you said, he had to fill in a very big
yeah.
shoes that Mr. Ozil left. When
Correct,
Ozil
absolutely.
left, there was a really huge gap in the attacking midfield that we needed to fill with an equal quality player.
But I
And
think he has fitted in like a fish to water, like with how he amazing he has
exactly,
been.
and I think he's done even better what
Than expected.
Ozil was a traditional
Hmm.
attacking midfielder
Right.
who
Yeah,
fitted very really well under Wenger because Wenger used to play traditional class football, classic passing
Right.
football, which was an
Right.
absolute peach to your eye to watch. I fell
Right.
in love
And
with Arsenal because of Wenger ball.
and
I
yeah,
I
very
I didn't get got attracted to any player or anything. I used to watch random matches, and I absolutely fell in love with the way Arsenal played.
and
Uh,
yeah,
that is
that was the reason.
amazing.
So that's the thing. Ozil was a traditional player. He wasn't very defensively sound when coming back
Right.
falling back. So what I have seen with Odegaard, I have seen him fall back to the defense to take the ball and bring it forward when when we are being pressed, when
yeah.
Gabriel Saliba and all are being pressed at the back. He
Work.
comes to them, takes the ball and brings it forward. That
Yeah,
is something that Jesus and Odegaard have done really well. Attacking midfielder coming to the defense, taking the ball and bringing it forward. It's a
yeah. Tremendous,
brilliant
tremendous
thing.
work
I know.
rate. Yeah,
It's a
and
Actually,
tremendous
Adukar
work.
sir.
there was this.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you, Doiman.
nee,
There
nee, go
was
ahead, go
this
ahead.
time actually when Tomiyasu conceded that goal against City. Like he made a mistake,
True.
and then Odegaard comes up to him. He tells him to chin up, and get on with the game. I mean, the kind of leadership that you have seen, you cannot buy that with money. Honestly, at
Exactly, you
today's
Yeah,
cannot
transfer
buy that
market.
leadership. You cannot buy that.
And with all due respect to how amazing of a midfielder Ozil was, I think the attitude with Martin Odegaard is so on point, which a lot of footballers nowadays do not really have,
Exactly,
because the
they
thing
don't
is,
have.
he's always there, made with the bad times, made with the good times. He's always there, rallying his troops. He's always there in the game. Whatever happens, he's doing team meetings in the matches itself at times, just to tell the lads to just get on with the game. And like, I remember this game I was watching, Arsenal versus Southampton. Now, Southampton
yeah,
ended up drawing the match, but man, I fell in love with Martin Odegaard that day, because I think Arsenal were losing 3-1, I think it was, or something around
3-1.
that. And then I think it was Odegaard who scored that goal from out of nowhere. And then Arsenal were like a different beast altogether. And then he's, spraying those through passes, being able to, absolutely bypass opposition defensive lines. All you could see was a player who was way past his age, someone who had matured from the time from a player who like, there's a good backstory with Martin Odegaard, that when he was around 16 years old, everyone wanted him, the whole Europe wanted him. Like,
Yeah,
I hadn't seen that sort of hype around a player since Eden Hazard. Like, Madrid, Liverpool, United, City, I think Ajax, he had trained anywhere and any, like, in almost all of these clubs, and everyone wanted him. He eventually went to Real. Didn't really work out for him as a move. Went to Sociedad, did relatively well. But since he has come into Arsenal, at the start I did hear from a lot of Arsenal supporters that he was a bit wasteful. That he was a good player, but he wasn't world class exactly. But for
yeah,
any doubters of Martin Odegaard, I think we have seen him come into his own now. And honestly, like, I think with if someone like Emil Smith Rowe can get back to form, I just sometimes feel that with the midfield of, say, someone like Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Emil Smith Rowe at his peak, Arsenal can be a team which can break barricades. Honestly,
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, he has been a tremendous leader. He is the last one to leave the field after each and every game. He covers the whole
yeah,
football field, appreciates each and every fan that has come to the stadium to watch us play. And the leadership, I mean, if you look at him, if you bring out an amateur football fan and show him Martin Odegaard, he wouldn't believe that he's just 24 years old. I mean,
yeah,
24 years is
absolutely.
nothing of an age that right now what he's doing,
Correct.
what amount of leadership that he's showing right now in the squad. Even when we concede goals, as you said, what even if we get a card, if we are losing at that point, we concede a goal out of the blue. Him and Zinchenko have been such a live wire in the squad right now. They have, I mean, the best part right now for me in the Arsenal team is that we have multiple leaders around the squad.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have
Zinchenko,
in
absolutely.
Gabriel
Zin,
Magalhaes is doing it.
yeah,
He's manning the back line.
mm,
Zinchenko is doing his bit. Jesus is doing his bit. But the the calmness that Odegaard brings to the table as a captain.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's really invaluable. आप लोगों ने अभी तक जितना भी define किया है ना about Martin Odegaard, I almost feel like he's the Kane Williamson of the football world. Everyone
I
like I haven't.
I went to I went for MSD, man. I
Yeah,
literally
I
feel
mean,
like he's like the MS Dhoni of our team
yeah, absolutely.
in the
Because
squad.
even
He's
though
so calm and
everyone,
composed.
yeah, and everyone each almost, I'm here in Mumbai doing my sports management studies, and Anukar sir would recall that up here, this is our first episode, 51st episode, of course. I mean, first after the 50 run
ये
mark,
शगुन का
because
एपिसोड है. हाँ, हाँ.
yeah. So in the first half, अपूर्व भाई मैं हमेशा सबको ये बोलता रहता था कि भाई I have read an Arsene Wenger book, which is the first football book that I've ever read, and Anukar sir and I kept talking about it, not so much in recent episodes, but now that we have got an Arsenal fan, I would not shy away from bringing up this topic. Is Arsene
यार
Wenger
shoot out.
as a coach, Apurv bhai, I just loved. I do read a lot of sports books, and we, of course, you could say it's a matter of luck that I chose Arsene Wenger's book first time, because, but man, Arsene Wenger, not only what has he done for Arsenal in all those invincible years, but he's still now head of FIFA's global development. He's here in India. He's like making so many, uh, बोलते हैं, putting so many processes in place. And the reason why we are doing this football podcast is also to build a football culture here in India. Of course, many people keep talking about whatever's happening here in Europe, but Apurv bhai, of course, you can feel free to share about what you feel about Arsene Wenger when he was in Arsenal, but also in the future what he has to offer Indian football. There might be something really precious out there, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, Wenger, ha- as I said, he was the reason that I fell in love with Arsenal. He was
Yeah.
the reason
So which year
behind,
was
and
it? कौन से साल से?
2000, 2008. It
2008.
was a very interesting thing. Our coach used to say, like, watch a random game of football, analyze it, and pick a player, analyze his movements, how on and off the ball, and learn about it. And next day, while doing the cool down exercises, he used to pick any random player from the academy, and he used to ask me, which match did you watch and what did you learn from it, what analysis is
Yeah.
yours. So I was watching a lot of football at that time, random leagues. I mean, I was watching La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, any matches that came across to me. So when I watched Arsenal play, no, there was I watched a lot of I was watching, I mean, 10, 20 teams play within a week, and the what struck me out was how beautiful fluidity with which Arsenal played. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have seen the old Arsenal play, the
Yeah.
speed and the fluidity that they used to play, I mean, it was it felt like the players were telepathic. Literally,
Poetry in
they
motion.
were
Oh,
exactly. It was a poetry in motion.
absolutely.
That, I mean, I just talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps because I can remember how I'm getting glimpses of our Arsenal Gunners playing. I mean, it
Right.
was tremendous, and of course, that year a lot of players left. So I mean, I was like, how they are gonna play, but still with so many players gone, still the at that time in 2008 2009, the squad was so young, and all respect, it was really bad. It wasn't a
Yeah.
squad that you can compete with in the Premier League at that time. And still, Wenger was continuously getting to top four finish with that score. It was an achievement. Like Mourinho said, getting second with Manchester United was his biggest achievement of his career. It was like that. I mean, and if you take the football apart, keep the football aside also. If you see Arsenal, he was the soul of the club. Where
Hmm.
we are right now,
Yeah.
it's because of him. With the, I mean, I read in depth about Arsenal how much debt we got into because of the Emirates Stadium. How how much
Yeah.
budget cut that Wenger had to face बिकॉज ऑफ द स्टेडियम ही इट्स लाइक हमने सुना है ना बचपन में हमारी नानी नाना ने या दादी दाना ने मेहनत से ईंट से ईंट जोड़ के वो घर बनाया है जैसे बोलते हैं ना
Yeah.
मेहनत से
Uh-huh.
घर बनाया है ये
Huh?
वो वाली चीज है ही
I mean,
इज द
every
रीजन दैट वी हैव द एमिरेट्स स्टेडियम राइट नाउ
definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, every football fan, I'm sure, at some point start में has thought कि आर्सीन वेंगर का नाम आर्सीन वेंगर इसलिए क्योंकि वो आर्सेनल का मैनेजर है।
Arsenal का
I'm
है।
sure, है ना, वो सबको ही लगता था स्टार्ट में।
Absolutely. And it was like a fairy tale moment where it was like made for each other type वाली चीज थी आर्सेनल की और आर्सेन वेंगर की
I don't know. And
and
how,
Yeah.
like, how he arrived, like, France से आया था, and how he changed everything.
Japan.
हाँ मतलब he was French
He's,
हाँ Japan से he was हाँ I remember there was some project in Japan and how he changed everything it's a big deal honestly that way
Absolutely.
and for and like I mean उसने ना he set up a foundation for Arsenal that the team learned to compete and
yeah,
like you talked about Martin Odegaard जिनचेंको की आपने बात की एक इंसिडेंट याद है मुझे उसका जिनचेंको का start of the season में he gave an interview in which he said कि when I came in I told the lads that after a few matches we will fight for the title so they start laughing कि नहीं first second year
yeah.
there's no
That's
chance
right.
and
They were
yeah
laughing,
yeah
and
and
now
then
no one is
and
laughing.
nobody's laughing
And now
because
no one is laughing.
no one's laughing because
When
that
that
goes to
when
show that the mentality was missing, maybe, and that came in with the
yeah.
players. That came in last summer.
So definitely, Apurva bhai, now that we almost come to the end of this episode, what I want to ask you is, as someone who's followed the Arsene Wenger era, as someone who knows everything about the Emirates Stadium episode, all the ups and downs, and of course this season, even though as I mentioned before, not getting the title will hurt. It's been a brilliant season despite of the injuries. जाते जाते आप बताओ as such a stout आर्सेनल फैन नेक्स्ट सीजन के लिए आपके क्या होप्स है क्या प्रेडिक्शंस है
Hopes, predictions, winning the title. As
या
Arteta said, the best thing that he has felt is that the players are not satisfied with the second finish right now. They are absolutely upset to their gut right now. They are
या
so upset right now with giving away the title at this point, and that is the best thing. That I mean, not settling for the tremendous growth we have this season. I mean, it goes to all the Arsenal fans, all the Gooners worldwide. Please don't celebrate this second finish. Don't celebrate mediocrity. That's what Arteta has been trying to instill in the club, and at a point right now, he has been successful doing that.
Hmm.
No, we
या
are not satisfied. And any predictions for the second year? We are fighting for the title. We are going to finish first. That's it.
या
Anything less than that, then it's no meaning to invest in players for the future. We can play like a club like Southampton or even Leicester City, whoever net transfer spend of not even 11 million pounds for the past season. So we can
या
play like them if we want mediocrity. If we want to finish
या
for the Europa League or the top four finish, no, we are not doing that.
Fair
That's
enough.
what
absolutely
Arteta has been saying from the start. We don't want to celebrate mediocrity, and at least
absolutely
I am not. I've seen fans who have been ecstatic, like it's fine. We have not won the league. Like we were aiming for top four. Let's be happy with the second finish. No,
to be content yeah satisfied
don't be content with that. Don't be. I mean,
correct
I was having a talk with a few guys, and they asked me. They were like, I mean, top four chodo, we would be fighting for second, third position, and they
yeah
laughed, I was like fighting
no
for.
one's
I mean, we would be fighting for the top three. I'm not. I don't think we will be fighting for the top four. We will be fighting for the second, third position right now. बोले नहीं नहीं
absolutely
टॉटनहम के ट्रांसफर ऐसे हुए हैं टॉप फोर तो
Yes.
लिवरपूल टॉटनहम मैन्यू और यही रहेंगे आर्सेनल ज्यादा से ज्यादा फिफ्थ फिनिश करेगी लाइक
yeah
एंड
I like how you're
लिटरली
putting it.
after the and I mean during it was during the World Cup when we were together watching a match and like we were having a discussion just like I came up with I brought this pointer and they were like I was like who's laughing now and they were like नहीं भाई
who's
तू ठीक
laughing
कह रहा
now
था exactly
but
मैंने कहा dude the number of
yeah
the way the culture that Arteta has brought in. If you see in Indian cricket also in IPL,
yeah
Hardik Pandya said a thing that when I was appointed as the captain, I had a duty to instill a culture in the team. There were two
yeah
options, one, like where you have all the star players in your team and you are winning
like
everything,
am I? like
like
MI.
Mumbai
Yeah.
Indians. And the
Or
second
else
was
build
like
build the
CSK,
players like CSK.
build, build,
Yeah,
build
absolutely.
or build superstars like CSK and have that culture. So I chose the other one. That's what.
Definitely,
That's
man.
why That's what Arteta is doing. He's not. He's
Correct.
not. He doesn't have superstars.
He's
We are
making them.
making. He's bringing that. He's bringing that Wenger culture back into the club.
Right.
Definitely.
You know the
Un-
fun part when Arteta, I said that in if you were seeing my previous live with Pep Coffee a week back, I told him he was also very surprised to hear that Arteta, when Arteta was retiring, he sent a letter to the board writing that you have to keep Mertesacker in the club at any cost.
yeah.
You have to
Correct.
do
Correct.
that. You cannot let him retire. And somehow kept him as an academy manager. And he didn't say, okay, keep him as academy manager or keep him as a director of football or anything.
Right.
He just said that keep him at any cost, in any position, in any source. I don't care, keep him there.
Correct.
And that's what. And Mertesacker is the reason that Arteta is right now at Arsenal. Do you know that? Mertesacker
Yeah.
was absolutely ardent that Arteta has to replace Wenger. Arteta has to replace Wenger. Both didn't listen to him. At that point, there was a
Uh,
lot of you, you can call it bureaucracy. At that point, there were a lot of players in the a lot of people in the decision making process at that
Mm-hmm.
point, and
yeah.
the KS and Kroenke didn't had the whole control over the club. So
Right.
when at the time Emery left, the transition happened in the ownership as well, and Kroenke got the full ownership of the club to take the whole decisions. I mean, at
Yeah.
that's what changed, and that's when they heard Mertesacker. They got rid of Emery. They instantly they went overnight to Arteta's place, and to their
And then
surprise,
they won.
Arteta already had a plan for the club
Yeah.
that he was
Yeah.
expecting that not today, not in next 5 years, but they will come. Not today, not
Yeah,
next year,
absolutely.
but in some time in future, they will come
Right.
to me. I will get to the club. I will manage the club. And he was already preparing for that. Just imagine.
Yeah,
Interesting.
big,
Interesting.
big. With
Interesting.
that, absolutely. With that thought, Anukar sir, let's be honest in confessing that the last half an hour with Apurv Bhai has been a proper exhibition of an Arsenal fan. His enthusiasm, his passion has definitely come to the fore. और अनुकर्ष भाई हमें ये एपिसोड एज एन आर्सेनल फैन प्रॉपर्ली साइलेंट गूनर के साथ तो याद रहेगा.
Yeah, it has been insightful. It has been informative. But more than that, it has been fun. For
Yeah,
Apurv Bhai, who claims to have a fortress in the Caribbean and Age of Empires, he is a lot beyond that, and he's a wonderful person. And Apurv Bhai, it was great having you here. And start of the show, when he was like, it is going to be a pleasure, and you have proved that you have brought the
absolutely.
talk just like Arteta this season. And I
Yes,
just hope that Arsenal can go from strength to strength and finish as high as they can after Liverpool, of course. And jokes apart, I just hope that Arsenal can really compete because a team like Arsenal belongs to Europe, deserves to have those European nights over and over again. And for one thing, I wish you and whatever work you're doing with Silent Gunnar all the very best. And we wish we can,
absolutely.
keep on having these YouTube lives and having you on the podcast over and over again. Thank you.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you so
Th-
much.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much
Till
for
the
bringing
next
me in.
episode. Yeah, till the next episode where we have a lot of Silent Gunner in our social media. Please do follow Silent Gunner, of course, if you haven't till now on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, of course, as now we have made our Twitter handle over there. Please feel free to let us know what you think about the episode. What kind of episode we should have in the next episode.
Yeah,
Till then, see you in another
please
episode
do
around football.
follow.
We'll see you. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, good night. Thank you.